Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I am playing some Historic Brawl. I think many of you know my feelings about the current Historic meta. It's something I don't really want to be playing right now, so I'm going to take a break until things get shaken up, either with Kamigawa or maybe with some upcoming balance changes if that ends up happening. But Historic Brawl is still a whole lot of fun. I'm able to complete my weekly quests and my daily wins and all that good stuff with Historic Brawl, and I've actually been having quite a bit of fun. I've wanted to build this deck for quite some time. I'm going to talk briefly about it and then hop into a few games. So the commander of this deck is Alela, Artful, Provocateur. It is a 2/3 flying Death Touch lifelink creature for 4. Lots of words on this one. And then it says other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. There aren't too many flying creatures in the deck, but we are playing a number of very impactful or good utility flying creatures. The other part of Alela is whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. So of course I've jammed a whole bunch of artifacts and enchantments in this deck. The artifacts are mostly mana rocks, but there are some interesting ones like Nettle Cyst and Glass Casket, a little bit of removal, a win con in the form of Nettle Cyst. Overall, good stuff in the artifact slot. In the enchantment slot, more utility stuff. Rest in peace, get rid of some graveyards and whatnot, favorable winds to buff up all of the fairies that Alela makes, and then we have some other really great win conditions in the form of Cathar's Crusade, Divine Visitation, and Sigil of the Empty Throne. Next, this deck heavily relies on Alela staying alive, so there is a lot of protection for Alela, and that comes in the form of a lot of counterspells. Kind of an obnoxious amount of counterspells, but I think they are necessary for the deck because I need to get Alela on the field and then protect her for as long as I can. Also playing some good removal, mostly in the form of white board wipes, Day of Judgment, Wrath of God, Fumigate, whatnot, And then one copy of Teferi's Protection because I absolutely love this card. It is just a whole lot of fun. So that is the deck. Hopefully it works out well. See you in the games. Well, that was weird. Anyways, time for some Alela in Historic Brawl. Opening hand looks a little sketchy as far as the mana goes, but if I can hit a third land, I've got a lot of protection for things. You know what? I'm not feeling great about this one. I'm going to throw it away. Yeah, this one feels cool, especially if I can hit a second black source for the Phyrexian Arena. So, yeah, let's try this one out. Next, I guess I should talk about the new camera. I did get a new camera. I'm sure some of you have noticed that. It was my birthday recently, so I decided to treat myself to a new toy. I've been actually thinking about getting a new camera for quite some time now, and I finally pulled the trigger on that one. The problem is now there are a whole bunch of things that I have to figure out as far as setting up the stream to properly work. Do I care about the Druid class? I think it's probably fine to let it resolve. It's not worth the swan song. But yeah, I actually spent the last hour figuring out the latency on the audio, and I'm not even sure if it's working perfectly yet. It's something I'm going to have to deal with and keep gradually fixing. I have to actually have a little bit of a delay. Wasn't the case when I was using the Logitech webcam mouse or webcam camera, but now with this new Sony camera, I think it does look better, but there is some delay. Also going to have to figure out my lighting situation. I know I do have a little bit of a glare going on in my glasses at the moment. But I guess I should focus on this game and actually watch and see what's going on, because my opponent is putting out a ton of great stuff, and I should probably start worrying about that. But I think for now it's probably just hold off. Maybe use this Absorb Energy to get something. Or if they try to put out Phylath, I can hit it with Supreme Will, maybe? Or Saw Coming. Let's just use the Saw Coming. Sure. So this deck, from my experience playing it, it has certainly tilted quite a few opponents. I am playing an absurd amount of counter magic, more counter magic than I'm usually comfortable playing. But yeah, it's been all right. I love enchantment win conditions. Not really drawing super well, because I'm drawing all of the counter side of the deck, and the opponent now with this Zendakar's Royal on the field, every landfall they make is going to create a 2/2 green elemental, and these things are going to start beating me down. But I'm not really sure I'm comfortable putting out Alela yet, so I'm going to go out Maze My Tome. It allows me to hold up my counter magic, and I can start drawing cards with the 2 mana ability if I want to do that. How much mana do they actually have? Not enough to cast Phylath again. Kind of hoping I'm going to find a Wrath of God soon. That might be the only thing that gets me out of this terrible mess. But anyways, let me know what you think about the camera. I'm actually going to start using the camera in other ways. I've always been somewhat interested in photography and that. I'm going to start walking around taking some photos. I actually did it on my way home from work today. Took the scenic route and stopped, took some photos, did some videos. Probably going to start uploading them as shorts. One might already be out right now. I'm not sure. I haven't really had time to look at the footage that I recorded. Okay. So lots of choices now. But none of them are really that great, especially in the face of this. They're just going to kill me next turn. I really needed to hit that board wipe. So I think the choice now is to try to stay alive and then maybe use the Supreme Will to dig for a board wipe. I can't really use it now. So that's going to be the case. Do I want to just put out the Rest in Peace? Rest in Peace doesn't do anything, does it? Might be better just... Oh, I accidentally cast it. Oh well, guess Rest in Peace is on the field now. Okay. So they have... Do they have lethal coming in at me? No, one off currently. So I might be able to hold off. However, Phylath... Yikes. Yikes. Big yikes. It might be a really bad start for this deck. Okay. So it's going to be Wrath of God or... Oh no, my Phyrexian Arena is going to kill me. I go down to 1, and then the Phyrexian Arena gets me. You know what? That's all right. I got to talk about my camera. Got to see the opponent do a really cool thing. It's always nice to see lands doing cool stuff. Yeah. We'll take that loss. Anyways, that's the first game. Gonna come back with lots of wins. I know it. Next one. All right, got the camera talk out of the way. Now I can just focus on the game, right? That's what I'm here for, I guess. Opening hand, yeah, sure, fine. I think that Search for Azcanta is pretty valuable, so having that on turn 2 to filter through things is going to be pretty good. Give the opponent the old hi, send them a bit of a kiss. And yeah, see what this deck is actually able to do. The opponent is playing Eutropia. I actually don't even know what that card does. So Eutropia, the twice favored constellation, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That creature gains flying until the end of turn. That is pretty sweet, and it is on the field. Now, is it enough of a threat that I need to get rid of it? You know what? Probably. People build their decks around these commanders, so let's just get it under the Banishing Light. Tilt the opponent maybe a little bit. Next turn is definitely going to be the Solemn Simulacrum, ramping me up ever so slightly, and then I can get into this Gilded Lotus, I suppose. And I think it doesn't really matter what this pathway goes down on, because I do have the command tower. Ooh, treasure map. I do love treasure map, but I think I have to put it in the graveyard. Yeah. Okay, actually that's just a better draw. So I am going to go out with the Simulacrum and probably grab a blue source. There's not a whole lot of black in the deck, and there's a lot of double blue, double white in the deck, so I'm more comfortable having a few more blue sources. Very happily block the Destiny Spinner with the Simulacrum, I believe. It won't trade, but it'll draw me a card. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Don't know why I asked you if you'd like to draw a card. Of course I'm going to be drawing a card with that. Every single time. Favorable wins also pretty good, but I think I need to find something a little bit more impactful. And Gilded Lotus, although very good, I'm not sure. No, you know what? I think it is going to be the right choice. Put it out, and then next turn I can definitely go out with the Alela and then hold up some counter magic and build something from that. Put it out on blue, I suppose. And hold up the Saw Coming just in case a disaster happens. Simic Ascendancy. Wow, that's a cool card. This gives enchantments and creatures the can't be countered clause. I guess I should have realized that. That's a bit of a yikes. All right, opponent doing cool stuff. Bred for the hunt. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter deals damage, draw a card. I love what the opponent's doing. This is so cool. All right, I'll take my lumps. Actually, yeah. Things, I think, are out of control now. We'll put the Fairy Vandal onto the field. Sure. Hushbringer's good, but I don't think it's actually going to work very well because it's only creatures entering the battlefield. If it were enchantments, then it would be a different story, but not the case. All right, let's tap our mana a little bit better than it was trying to tap it. We'll put out Alela. And then I think I will slam the Paladin class. Do I want to upgrade it? Yeah, let's upgrade it. Sure. No. No, I don't want to do that. I want to hold up the Saw Coming just in case they have some kind of removal for Layla. I got to keep it on the field. I have no idea what the opponent's going to be playing. Of course, any enchantment removal or whatnot is not going to really happen like that. That's okay, though. Because it's just tapping. It's not removing the ability. And the ability is the big part of Alela, so I'm kind of fine. Ancestral Mask is in the format? Did anybody know Ancestral Mask was in the format? What? Okay, well, I guess I'm chump blocking forever now. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just blowing up the board. Okay. That Ancestral Mask is nasty. The Destiny Spinner is pretty brutal. Now I can counter their stuff, so I guess that was probably the right play overall. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana open, so I can comfortably do this and hold up Saw It Coming. Sure. I don't want to put out the Nettlecyst yet because I want to put it out when I have an Alela on the field. I have to imagine they're going to try to put out that. No, they're just going to kick a Skyclave Relic. Okay. Okay. Well, if this is the case and they're not putting out anything else, I think I'll use the Field of Ruin to get rid of their Hall of the Storm Giants. They are using Mirror Maid. What are they going to copy with Mirror Maid? Let's find out. I think it's going to be the bread. No, they copied the Paladin class. It's awesome. Okay. So now I have to be aware that the Paladin class is going to be taxing my things. For example, the Saw Coming is now 4 instead of 3. We'll just go grab another blue source. Sure. Lofty Denial. More counter magic. Probably a good idea. Although Lofty Denial, not the best counter spell considering how much mana they have. So maybe it wasn't the best choice to keep. And now I only actually have access to one of these spells. 1, 2, 3. They can actually pay for the Lofty Denial, so I have to use the Saw It Coming. Okay. And now, you know what? The Lofty Denial actually has a little bit more value because if they tried to cast this out for 9, they might not have the extra mana to pay for the extra 4 from Lofty Denial. That's the hope. All right. Let's put out Tomb of Legends. Tomb of Legends is really cool. Whenever your commander attacks, you get to put a page counter on it, and then cool stuff happens. So I will be getting in with Alela. Have quite a bit of mana open. I'm not sure if I want to put out the Nettlecyst or not. Maybe. Yeah, I do, I think. And then next turn we'll be pumping up the Paladin class. So, pretty cool little board I got going here. And if they end up spending their whole turn trying to get Eutropia onto the field, I think it'll probably be game over for them. They'll need a pretty big card here, but in Simic, I don't know what kind of like board wipe they would have access to even. Sure. Love this card. Very, very cool card. Renata. Okay, I have to imagine that means good news for me. They're pretty much tapped out, I think. We'll grab the negate. And draw a card with the Tomb of Legends. Not finding anything particularly interesting, but I'm going to level up my Paladin class. And then I think I put this onto Alela. Whenever you attack, until the end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and double strike, yeah. So we'll just put this over here. And it's game over. Nice. That is a pretty satisfying win. Very happy with that one, especially when things were looking real bad when that Ancestral Mask hit the field. Where did Ancestral Mask come from? I'm sure Teferi's going to let me know. He's always going to pop up and say something stupid that I make him say. But ignore that fact. Anyways, next game. More Alela. More Historic Brawl coming up, I think. I had a lot of fun when I was playing it for that 1 week, going back a couple weeks ago, or maybe probably a month ago now. I don't know why I stopped playing it. I think I got distracted with something else. Had heard the call of regular Historic, I suppose. Had to go crawling back to that. But I definitely want to play more of this, which makes me wonder, what are some commanders that you would like to see being played in the format? Alela, I picked this card because I think it's a really cool card, of course, and it's very similar to another card that I enjoy in paper, Kaikar. But I haven't really seen too many people playing Alela, and I think it's just a rad card, so I wanted to build it. What are some other commanders that you would like to see being built? I think, you know, a lot of Jodah. I see this every 10 games or so, I feel, so it's not that exciting for me. But there are probably a lot of really underplayed commanders, so let me know. Will I build them? I don't know. Got a little thing stuck in my throat right now. I don't know if I'll build them, but I would love to hear some suggestions, and we'll go from there. Maybe, you never know. All right. I kind of feel like I just got to put out Alela. It's going to be unprotected, but I don't have any protection. Usually I'd like to hold off on putting Alela out too quickly if I have some of my counter magic in hand, but I don't have that luxury. I could probably bluff it, but I think it's probably better just to run out Alela before Jodah gets on the field and bad things start happening. Now I do have this Fracture in my hand, and the reason I have Fracture in my hand is to get rid of these pesky mana rocks, so let's get rid of that. Okay, now I can upgrade the Paladin class, or I could upgrade the Paladin class. I think there's only really one choice. Get in for 6 is a pretty good little attack, and find a Mulldrifter. I'm okay with that. Hopefully that destroying that Replicating Ring put them back quite a bit. I kind of have that feeling that they're struggling on mana, ever so slightly. Along with what commanders would you like to see, for those of you who do play Historic Brawl, what are some of your favorite commanders? I feel like I asked that in one of my previous Brawl videos, but I don't remember seeing anybody saying in the comments some of their favorite brawlers. So do let me know. I'd love to hear what some people are playing. Alright, well, I guess now it's just a good idea for me to hold Spell Swindle up. As lame as that is, I think that's going to be the best bet. One of my favorite counter spells ever made, Spell Swindle. Absolutely love it. I jam it into every blue EDH deck that I have. I bought like 6 or 7 copies of this card when I saw it originally printed. It was, I don't know, 30 cents, 40 cents, something like that. I don't remember paying very much for it. You know what? I think a Wrath of God is a fine spell swindle. I will take 4 of those. Oh, wow. Throat is really, really doing weird stuff right now. So I could Paladin class, hold up. Yeah, why not? Sure. Let's just get the damage in. I keep looking over to check my camera just to make sure things aren't getting weird. At one point when I first did a recording, I don't know what was going on, but the camera just started freaking out and it just like locked up. I'm not sure if I had it on too long while I was working out the intro, something like that. Well, we're not doing that. A little bit of an oppressive one. Had the right cards in hand against what the opponent was doing. It's pretty sweet. Next one. Alright, so far things are going a lot better now that I'm focusing ever so slightly more. That first game, definitely a little bit sketchy. I don't know how I feel about this hand. I'm gonna try it. I think it's okay. I got good mana. Hopefully it leads into something, you know, to smooth out these mid turns, I guess we'll say. They are on a Yarok, so I got to expect a lot of ETB stuff, of course. It would be really cool to find my Hushbringer? I think that's what that card's called. Well, Mindstone was a pretty rad draw, especially if I can find a land next turn, and then that can lead me into holding up the Spell Swindle for something on turn 4. There's the Llanowar Visionary, so sure thing. Now I do have the option of hitting it with the Fateful Absence, but I don't think it's worth it. And I hit my land, but it's a tap land. So now I have to make a decision. If they have a land drop, they're going to get the Yarok onto the field next turn. I could use the Fateful Absence to get rid of the Llanowar Elf and then try to hold them off for one more turn, then hold up the Spell Swindle to get the Yarok. I kind of like that, so I think I'm going to go that way. Maybe a little hasty with the usage of this Fateful Absence. I don't have a ton of removal in the deck, but I feel like my counter spells are gonna, you know, get me there for the most part. They play out the Triome. Yeah, kind of indicating that maybe they have an untapped land coming down for next turn. Missing the land there sucks, but it is what it is. Let's see if my read is right. Land Yarok, come on. Don't disappoint me. Make me feel like a good Magic player. Come on. Come on. Bocephus, you can do it. Settle the Wilds instead. Settle the Wilds is not a terrible thing to Spell Swindle. It does give me 3. And it'll cut off their mana. Fine. I also have the Tail's End to get the Yarok on subsequent turns. So I guess that's okay. They had a tap land. I don't particularly like putting out Alela here, so I think I'll put out the Empyrean Eagle. Sure, we'll do that. Genius. Yeah, this is good. Having fun playing Magic. I have these crazy ups and downs with this game these days, but this feels good. A Hostage Taker for my Mind Stone, maybe? That's what I would be doing. Well, I suppose I can hit it with the Mortify. I really need to protect that Mind Stone. I think I'll definitely need it going forward. Yeah, this should work. I like that they still have the sword animation going in. Ooh, In Search of Greatness is such a cool card. I don't particularly like playing it, but I think it's a cool card still. Alright, attack in with the Eagle. I could Banishing Light the In Search of Greatness. I don't know how much of a threat it's going to actually be. Or do I just want to put Alela on the field? Let's put Alela on the field. And that can still hold up Tail's End. Maybe I should have put it out beforehand. Could have gotten 1 more point of damage in with the Empyrean Eagle, but whatever. Ravenous Chupacabra, you say? That's pretty good against my commander. I suppose I could have countered that ability, but I don't think it's a good idea. I think I'm gonna have to hit a Yarok this turn. No, they're still not going out with that. Okay. Prime Speaker Vanifar, pretty powerful card. Allows them to go and get a whole bunch of stuff from their deck. Important thing here, you should note, if your opponent, Maelstrom Pulse, destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name. If I just let that resolve, they would have destroyed both treasures. But if you pop one of the treasures, then it fizzles. So, nice little thing to know. You don't have to lose all your treasures. Okay. So I think I definitely need to clean up this board somehow. This Prime Speaker Vanifar allows them to do way too much, so I suppose it's Banishing Light. And, yeah. Hold up the tail's end. Nothing really exciting happening. I would really like to find like a Phyrexian Arena, something that's going to give me a little bit more card draw and fill up my hand again. Feeling a little starved for cards right now. Really surprised. They've been very... I thought they would have played out this Yarok ages ago. There's the Yarok. Maybe a little hasty to just do that when I could have fumigated, but... yeah, maybe it's okay. Sure. We're just going to keep punching each other in the face. Okay. Teferi's Protection, not the worst card. I think what I'm going to do is just hold the Fumigate. I'm assuming they're going to put something out with the In Search of Greatness and then the Yarok. That Muldrifter is huge. The problem with this Muldrifter, it's the bad art. It's not the cool art. Hopefully, I can't remember if I played it in the last 3 games, but hopefully I get to draw my Muldrifter and show off that super rad art. Play out the Yarok. Come on. Yarok. There you go. Attack first, I guess. They might throw the Muldrifter in front of it, but may as well try. And then I'm definitely going to be wiping the board. Gain a little bit of life. And put this out. Still not in a great spot. Maybe I got to use this Mind Stone to actually draw a card. Pay 1, sacrifice it, draw a card. I am hitting my lands now, so it's not such a big deal, but I do want to get Alela onto the field and hold up some kind of protection for her. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So actually this is pretty good protection with the Mind Stone. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. They did have enough mana for Yarok, actually. I think. Yeah. But they decide to go this route. Oh, Thassa plus Elvish Rejuvenator is pretty awesome. That's going to be a ton of land drops. They just keep bouncing this Elvish Rejuvenator over and over again. And they get to go look at the top 5 cards, put a land from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Yikes. Big yikes. Okay. Counterspell. Not bad. Okay. So now I have the Teferi's Protection and I have the Counterspell to deal with things. Yeah, they're going to be able to put a lot of lands onto the field, but... Okay. The Scarab God's real bad. I didn't want to use my Counterspell on a creature like that, but... If this gets on the field and they're able to get a Yarok out and they're reanimating stuff with the Scarab God, yeah. Things get real iffy real quickly. Of course, my headphones decide that they want to die now. Boneyard Parlay. Hold on a second. Exile up to 5 target creature cards from graveyards. An opponent separates those into 2 piles. Put all cards from the pile of your choice onto the battlefield under your control. The rest into their owner's graveyards. So I'm in trouble. What do I do? Scarab God alone, and then the rest of the team, I guess. Yeah, I respect the Scarab God that much. Yeah, they decided to go with the rest of the field. Why wouldn't you? They get to keep my Alela. Yeah. All right, opponent. That's awesome. It's awesome. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna see one more card, and then I think we blow the opponent a nice heartfelt kiss and wrap things up. Yarok is definitely one of those commanders that is incredibly powerful. I have my own Yarok deck. I actually don't play it all that often just because of how kind of absurd it actually is. Mostly because ETBs are kind of insane these days. They print so many good ones, and that's not good enough. So, as said, hearts to the opponent, concede. Couple more. Oh, it looks like we're against a mono green deck. A little bit of stomping going on from the opponent. Yeah, I think this hand is going to be okay. Fracture I don't think is going to be too impactful, but hopefully I can get the Coastal Piracy down in some reasonable time frame, and then an Alela on the field. I really like this interaction. This card's just really cool. It's a little bit weaker than... There is another enchantment in Commander. It's a very expensive enchantment. I think that is a very similar effect. Every time a creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, you get to draw a card. Just an insane card. But Coastal Piracy is an okay replacement for that, especially if I can get a couple of fairies on the field. Things get going pretty well. Nylea is the opponent's commander. Cheaper creature spells and a few other things. Also allows them to dig into their library, try to find creatures. So, cool card. They rush it out. That is pretty interesting. Unfortunately, Fracture is not exile. It is destroy. Maybe I should have put out the Godless Shrine, then I could have had Alela on the field. That was probably a mistake. But I think this is going to mostly be okay. Let's get another blue source, because I do have a lot of double blue in my hand. And I will need that going forward. I still have the Brazen Borer up if I want to bounce something. We'll see. They didn't play a land, which makes me think that maybe this Simulacrum could be important for them. Let's just counter that. And hopefully keep them at 3 mana. A free Hope of Giafer. Sure, it doesn't really hurt me. Okay. That might be good in a turn or two. I'm going to put out the Godless Shrine. What am I going to put out with it? Am I going to put out Alela is my question. She'll be quite vulnerable, and then I can't really Day of Judgment. But I think it's maybe what I have to do. Okay. And then again, if I can get that Coastal Piracy going, start drawing some cards. They're using Nylea to look for a card. Oh, they find the Crater Hoof. Okay, well, got to be aware of the Crater Hoof. Again, bad art, Crater Hoof, unfortunately. Oh, I mean, I like what the opponent's doing. This is really interesting. Maybe they just have a whole bunch of 1 CMC artifact creatures in their deck, and they get the discount with Nylea. A little disappointing that the opponent gave up, but that's okay. Next one. I really wish that Nylea player kept going. I would have kind of liked to see what they were doing. I think it was a neat little strategy that they had. I don't know why I say little. It was a neat strategy. Hey, Leyline of Anticipation. Not a card I see too often in my opening hand, but I think because of that, I want to keep this hand. And a Sram. That's scary. Another monocolored deck. Okay, we'll put out the Isolated Chapel and then Command Tower. It's going to be a little bit too late for this Tails End because they're already going to have Sram on the field. They don't put Sram on the field, so now Tails End is looking mighty fine. And with this Leyline of Anticipation, I can get Linvala out onto the field next turn. Oh, I love what they're doing. They're going to load up a Mirror Shield. Okay. I can't destroy the Mirror Shield because it is an artifact. Unfortunately, Mortify is creature or enchantment. But, not... Ooh, come on. 9 lives. Well, I can... Hang on. It has hexproof. I was going to say I can let it resolve, and I have to let it resolve. I don't have any choice. Okay. 9 lives on the field. I hope we're not going to get 9 lives combo killed. Oh, not combo, but Swan Song, very important. Okay. So Linvala in. Gets 1 counter on the 9 lives. And now we have a Sram. Okay, so Sram, are they going to try to equip it with the Mirror Shield? They are going to try to equip it with the Mirror Shield. So I guess that's my opportunity to kill it with a Mortify, because I'm not going to be able to do anything else. So that's what we'll do. Yeah. Okay, so they've wasted their mana, and we got them. Sure. That was an early concede by the opponent, I think. Oh well. Next one. All right, 1 or 2 more with Alela. Unfortunately, the last game was lost. I just had a really cool one against an Omnath deck. Cool, I'm not sure is the right word for it, but it was a fun game anyways. We just kept going back and forth with removal, basically, counter spells. They had cast their Omnath something like 5 or 6 times. Their Omnath cost something like 13 or 14 by the time they conceded at the very end of the game. But my camera, I'm not sure what's causing this, but after recording for about an hour or so, it starts getting really choppy on OBS, and that'll be something I have to look into. I haven't optimized the settings for the camera yet. I'm not sure if I should be looking at the frame rate or the, I don't know, whatever. I got to look into it a little bit more. So I am going to be spending some time this week and probably tomorrow, Sunday, checking things out. Send the opponent a little bit of a heart and a little bit of a kiss. They are on God Eternal Kefnet. A lot of monocolored decks lately, which is surprising me. I think I can go out with the Mazemind Tome, and it gets censored. Ouch. Might be in for kind of a counter magic battle here, which I'm not really excited about. I will pass, hold up, absorb, or the Disdainful Stroke. We'll see. But yeah, I want to wrap it up. Just a couple more games. I can't remember if I said that in the last game or at the start of the next game. Do you counter this? Do you let your opponent draw 2 cards, or do you hit them with Thassa's? I think you let them draw. But yeah, what I said was I want to go out for a walk. It's 10:30, a little bit after 10:30 now, and I definitely want to take a little bit of a walk tonight. Had a very big lunch and dinner today, and feeling a little bit heavy in the midsection. My opponent complied and allowed me to get a free win. I don't know if I include these in the videos because I said something that I wanted to say in the video, so I guess I should include it. But it wasn't a very exciting game. I played a Mazemind Tome and it got countered, and then the opponent conceded. So I'm going to leave it in because I want people to be aware. Historic Brawl is a super cool format, and I have a lot of fun with it. But because it's unranked, you do get a lot of early concedes. I remember that was something I asked about very early on when I was first doing Brawl videos. I had asked, do you run into a lot of opponents who just scoop as soon as their commander gets destroyed or is countered one time, or if their game plan's being weird? In this case, I imagine the opponent missed a whole bunch of lands, but you do get these games, so you should be aware if you're watching my video as an idea of like, should I get into Historic Brawl? Do know that you are going to have a lot of games that are basically non-games because people just scoop it up and move to the next one quite quickly. Anyways, I am going to play one more. Alright, last one with Alela against yet another mono colored deck. This time around though, mono red. Dovin's Veto, probably going to be a pretty good card to stop this turn for Chandra. Although, kind of thinking that they're on an aggro plan right now and my hand is not looking too great. I will keep the Fumigate, I guess. I do have a Mind Stone for the next couple of turns, and then eventually maybe I can get up to that 5 mana. Yeah, I do miss. So I'll put out the Drowned Catacomb, pass, not a big deal. Next turn, Mind Stone, this. The Chandra, because I had bad lands, the Chandra was able to get onto the field. Now things are just real bad. Where were you last turn? Oh, come on, mana. So now I still... Do I put out the Mind Stone and the Hushbringer? Yeah, I guess so. Sure. And then I have the Fumigate, but the Fumigate's... Oh, I don't have the Fumigate. I don't have white mana. I only have one source. I don't know how this one's going to go. We'll see. This deck, I will say, the one cool thing about this Alela deck, it definitely comes back from behind very, very well. Another Chandra, not great. Especially since it was able to deal a very convenient 2 damage for -2. I don't know if I've ever... Have you seen this Chandra before? Novice Pyromancer? You know, I did get quite a few easy wins from opponents over the last few games. I guess this is payback for all of those wins. I will put out the wedding announcement, but Chandra's going to be at 7 mana very soon, and there's no way I'm getting in. They're going to make sure that my board stays very, very clean, I have to imagine. And once they get this Chandra emblem, it is go time. I'm not really sure... Oops. I'm not really sure I have a way of dealing with that. Of course I don't have a way of dealing with it. What I meant was, I don't think I have a way of dealing with Planeswalkers. I don't think I actually have any cards that just, like, murder Planeswalkers. This is rad. Okay, you know, you gotta commend your opponent when they do cool stuff. And it's working for the opponent. Oh, I'm just dead. Whatever. You know what? I'm not even mad. It's such a cool way. Losing to Chandra, like the nut Chandra hand, they went turn 2 regulator or turn 3 regulator into this. Anyways, the way the cards came out, just absolutely, you know, beautiful, lovely, lovely thing to see. That's enough magic for me for today for this video. I didn't get a whole, you know, the start were good games. The end kind of trailed off. Not a big deal. Go to a quick wrap up. Alright, so I had quite a bit of fun playing this deck tonight, and I hope it's a cool looking deck to you. A lot of counter magic, so definitely a deck that is outside of my usual style of decks, but once in a while you want to dip in to those other realms and see how the opponents play their game. If you have any suggestions for this deck, I would love to hear it. I think the deck feels pretty good right now, and I feel like every card in the deck does feel nice or feel good and useful, but I do feel like there might be a few too many counter spells in the deck, so I wouldn't mind cutting a few of the less powerful ones and adding some cards that maybe I have omitted or overlooked. So please let me know in the comments if there are any awesome enchantments or artifacts that I've overlooked, any cool flying creatures that aren't in the deck that definitely should be in the deck. I will definitely take those suggestions into consideration and keep updating this deck, because I think this is going to be one that I'm going to be enjoying for the next little while, especially since it's in Esper colors. I get a lot of quests that are, you know, blue and black. I don't play a lot of blue and black decks, so those decks or those quests can take quite a while for me to complete. Having a deck that I enjoy that is in blue and black, and white in this case, can really help finish those quests off, especially blue. Anyways, that's it for this video. Yeah, I'm going to go out for a little bit of a walk and maybe take this new camera for a spin. Go take some pictures of some stuff. Anyways, take care for now. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.